Hello children and the parents of students of class 11th and 12th. As promised today, this is my first video in the series of choosing a career after 12th. This is my bit to help you out to choose your career as per the information from the professionals who are there in that profession, and they will give you a detailed idea about that career. So to start with, today I have invited my son Sudhanshu Gajria here, and he is with us, and he will be telling us about the career in Merchant Navy. Now, Merchant Navy was not heard of much few years back. Many of you must not have heard about today also, but the Salman's movie Bharat made it popular because there in that movie it was shown that this is the profession for making quick money. And though they had made the mockery of the profession, but still, as far as the name goes, many of you must have got aware about this opportunity on sea. Now, this is Merchant Navy. You can join Merchant Navy by pursuing many different courses after 12th. Sudhanshu, first of all, please brief us about this career, the eligibility criteria, and what are the students supposed to do after completing their 12th.
Hello all. Thank you for having me on your YouTube channel for this enlightenment video, which we are sharing with the students who are looking for a career opportunity after their +2. And now is the right time to talk about this subject, because many of you must be aspiring to come forward and sail the oceans, just like I've been doing for the last 14 years. So I will tell you in a brief what this career is all about. Back when I joined this career, there were not many details which I had available on hand before I chose this career. But now that I've served in this profession and I've worked on the foreign going international ships, so I'm in a position to guide you all. Eligibility wise, so now coming to eligibility, we are looking at fresh pass outs from school, like after +2. Anybody who has 10+2, who has taken the subjects as PCM, that is physics, chemistry, mathematics, and again English as it is already there. So there are certain marks requirement which you must have. Aggregate marks which are required in PCM taken together is 60%, and you should have a minimum of 50% in English if you wish to pursue this career. This I'm talking about the officer level. So if you want to become an officer, although you will start as a cadet, as a trainee apprentice, but to get into that stream, you should have PCM with English. And if you are planning to join as a ratings is basically the crew of the ship, the people who actually start from the lower ranks, and later on they have the opportunity to climb up the stairs to the officers and the senior engineers as well. So if you are talking about ratings, you can either do it after 10th, that is also an option, or you can come after 10+2. Here the requirements are slightly relaxed. You should have a 40% in English, and you should have an aggregate of 40% again in English, maths, and science taken together. I may not be very technically correct, so there's a small disclaimer I'm attaching. Whatever I say or speak, don't take it as it is. Always be responsible enough to Google it, to find out personally from the newspapers, magazines, and also from the brochures which various training institutes have been providing, newspapers, etc. what I know is for the officers, it's PCM 60 plus 50 English. And for the ratings, it's 40%. And aggregate again in maths, science, and English. So these are the compulsory subjects. Going forward, age is you should be between 17 to 25 years when you are going for the entrance. Female candidates are all the more encouraged. You should not be married. Coming to the vision, your eyesight, you should have unaided vision of a good unaided vision, although glasses are allowed, but there are certain rules into that. What is important is you should not be colorblind. Color blindness is totally unacceptable in this profession because of the various technicalities associated. And remember, you will be subject to a rigorous physical fitness test. That is a medical examination, a very thorough, detailed medical examination, which will be repeated every 2 years. There may be every year also, but a minimum is every 2 years, you will be subjected to a very thorough, detailed medical checkup. So make sure you're physically fit, you're not obese, you don't have any pre-existing conditions. And okay, that's all about eligibility. I'll take the next question.
Thank you so very much, Sudhanshu, for giving us the information about what are the subjects which are required, what is the minimum percentage required in 12th, and the physical fitness, the medical fitness, the color blindness should not be there. And you have given us idea that about information about the officers rank and the ratings also. So thank you very much for this information, and your disclaimer is well accepted by all of us. And now please tell me and tell my students about the degree you get after successful completion of these courses. As you have mentioned, what are the different types of courses in this Merchant Navy career which a student can pursue after completion of 12th, and what are the degrees they will be getting after successful completion of these courses?
Oh, I chose engineering branch. Now I will explain a little about the various branches which are available. If you are looking for your career in Merchant Navy, you can either be on the deck side or you can be in the engine side. So for the deck side, there is a separate course. For the engine side, there is a separate course. This is about the officer level. Again, there is deck and engine side in the ratings, the crew level as well. But there, the course which you have to take, it is a common course. It is called a GP rating course, and that is just a 6-month course. Obviously, you will be subjected to taking various other courses. It's called STCW courses, which are common to deck, engine, and officers and rating level altogether. But if you want to become a deck officer, you can either go for a BSc degree in nautical sciences. That is a BSc nautical science 3-year course, or you can also opt for a diploma in nautical science. This also comes around to be 3 or 4 years. Although if you are planning to come to the engine side, like I am on the engineering side, so you have to either choose between a Bachelor of Engineering BE Marine, you can go for BE Naval Architecture, you can also go for any other BE. And later on, you can convert your existing BE degree to a BE Marine by undergoing a GME course. That is a 1-year course. So people who have already opted for engineering, they are either within that engineering period or they have passed out, graduated, they also are eligible to make a field switch and always come to Merchant Navy and join as engineers. And there are people who from the beginning, they are very sure that they would like to become an engineer. So go for the BE Marine Engineering. That's again a 4-year course, any engineering, just like that. And you could go for a BE or a BTech in Marine Engineering. For the ratings, as I told, it's only a 6 months of GP rating course. And then there is a 4th division also on if you would like to serve on the ships. That is a catering department. So there you have 6 months of maritime catering course, or you can also go for a BSc if you are so enthusiastic about taking this. So you could go for a BSc in Maritime Catering. That is a 3 years course. So if you go for this, you can become the chef, the cooks on board the ship, which are preparing good, high quality, multi cultural food for all the people serving on board.
Sudhanshu, thank you so very much for informing us about the various courses. And let me revise it for my students. You said that there are two sides, deck side is there and the engine side is there. And they can go for BSc, that is 3 years course in nautical science. And they can go for engineering degree, that is Bachelor of Engineering in Marine Engineering. And another thing which you have also, you said was that they can shift from any other stream of engineering to marine engineering if they desire so. Or suppose if they afterwards they thought of shifting their career from some other stream to marine engineering, they can always do that. And the third one you said was catering field. So thank you so much for giving us these different idea about these different courses in Merchant Navy. Okay, Sudhanshu, now my next question is very obvious because I myself is suffering from seasickness. I cannot be on ship for more than 2 or 3 days. So my question is that suppose my students are also having seasickness. So can they think of this career or not? It is ruled out for them. Is seasickness a problem? Please brief us on this also.
To answer that question, the students, they will not only be subjected to seasickness, there will be many other sicknesses which will come along. This is including the sickness of staying separated from your family, staying separated from social gatherings, staying separated from social media. Although we have the internet connectivity these days, but it is not to that standard as you are used to on the shore. So seasickness in particular, if we are discussing, so seasickness is a temporary state of affairs. It is just a mental block which will go away with time. It will not take anything more than 1 to 3 months to get rid of that. So if you are particularly concentrating on seasickness, so you can say just like any other job, this is a part of this job and you will overcome it. Later on, there will be time when if the ship is not rolling much, then you will not enjoy it also. So you will get used to it. It's just a part and parcel of this job. So don't just disregard this profession just because it involves seasickness. It is there, it will go, and you will forget about it.
Thank you so much, Sudhanshu, for making us aware about the challenges other than seasicknesses also. But seasickness, as far as seasickness is concerned, you said it is a matter of time. And when you are on sea, on board, it's a matter of few days, you get acclimatized and your body get adapted to this thing. And you will get over of this problem of yours. So thank you so much for relieving me from this worry of mine, because I thought if a person is having seasickness for first few days, he might not be able to pursue a career on ship. But thank you so much for ruling out that thinking of mine. Okay, so now can you tell me, like, I know that you have completed 14 years of your in this field, and you are a very experienced man now as far as this profession is concerned. So please tell us some good points, positive things about this career. Suppose my students are planning for this career. Why should they plan for this career? Why should they pursue this career after 12th? What are the positive points? What are the plus points of this career?
First of all, it's difficult to, bring it in numbers, 5 good or 5 bad things. But I'll try to say as much as come to my mind. The good things are many, the bad things are also many. So you have to choose for yourself what works for you. The balance has to be sought within yourself. Nobody else can tell you good things. Something which is good for me may not be as good for you. something which is very bad for me may be very good for you. So let's not generalize that. But the good things is you'll get paid very handsomely. You'll get paid what more many IITs or even IIM graduates and with many years of experience will not be making that much of money. You can expect you can start making in the first 2 to 3 years after staying in this profession. Another good thing is you will get the opportunity to visit many countries around the world, and you will have like a thorough check-in procedure, a special dedicated seafarer identity document and a sea service record booklet will be given to you, which will allow you to travel to many countries in the world without actually having a visa, physical visa, but you will be granted a special seafarer visa. But having said that, don't correlate this with going like a tourist. You will visit many countries internationally. You will get chance to go out to spend an evening or to spend a couple of hours outside on the shores of, say, Italy or France or Egypt or New Zealand, America, whatnot. But again, as a ship, you have to treat it as a traveling entity. You can compare it in simple terms to a train. A train will travel from station A to station Z, and in between it will come and stop at various stations B, C, D, E, and the list goes on. But that doesn't mean that you can, go get down at station B and go do the sightseeing of station B, then look forward and make plans for C, D, E, F, G. No, that's not going to happen. You have to be really lucky, time bound, and your ship schedule should allow you to go out. Again, your seniors should allow you, to grant you the permission to go out. The customs should allow you. The local rules of the country should allow you. You should have the shore pass. There are many aspects. But having said that, in my personal career, I have seen mostly all the 7 wonders of the world, even after all these regulations or tight restrictions in place. So it's not that, it's not this. You have to be lucky, but you don't have to focus only on the touring part. Yes, you will be touching international borders. You will be touching many lucrative international places, somewhere you would have thought in your dreams to go. But you may or may not get a chance to go outside. If you're lucky, you can. And having spent some time in this profession, eventually you will. So don't lose heart, you will get that opportunity. The third one is you will become over time a really tough person. You will become a very strictly following, punctual, time bound, responsible person. Somebody can entrust upon you even by closing their eyes on. Because on the ship, you are a group of, say, 20 odd people. That's all. That's the crew of the ship these days. Out of that, maybe there are 8 officers, 7 or 8 another crew members. Then you have 2 to 3 people in the catering department, and that's it. So staying in that kind of environment, you have to become responsible. You have to be very independent. You have to be a team player, and you cannot afford making small mistakes or afford going irregular or irresponsible. So that will be something that will be something that will be stitched to you. It will come in your personality. So you'll become a much responsible person than you ever were.
Thank you so very much, Sudhanshu, for making us aware about the positive and plus points of this career. Let me revise them also for my students. First of all, handsome pay. You people are at par with IIMs and IITs, and even better than them. Then adventurous. Yes, it is very adventurous job, and you are getting to see the world, as you yourself said that you have been to 7 wonders of the world in this profession, and you are traveling all around the world, and you are getting to see different countries of the world. So that is another plus point about this, if someone is interested in traveling and adventurous enough to travel on sea. And third thing which you said is that in this job of yours, you have transformed into a responsible, tough, and a disciplined person. And now you have inculcated leadership qualities and a teamwork play. So these are the good qualities which you have inculcated in you, and this job has transformed you into a very responsible and dedicated person because of the job conditions. So thank you so much, Sudhanshu, for giving us this positive points of your career. Now, as we have discussed positive, we have to discuss negative also, because plus cannot stay alone. Plus always has minus with it. So the challenges you face in this career, the challenges you face being in Merchant Navy. Please make my students aware about the challenges also of this field.
First, I will complete what I left in the positives. We spoke about good, handsome package. So before hearing out the challenges, let me boost you up. So salary wise, you can expect, as soon as you start, as soon as you get a job with a good reputed company and you clear all your exams well and good in time, your paperwork is complete, you're physically fit and you are certified to be on the ship and you are leaving India. Then as soon as you leave your home, basically that is the day your salary package will start coming, and you will start earning anything between 25,000 to 8 lakhs a month. So that's something really, I don't think any profession worldwide can match you that, especially in India. It's a big thing. But having said so, with big money also comes big responsibility. So you have a big responsibility on your shoulders to fulfill. And there are many challenges at the same time. And the challenges would be, you have to first of all stay at huge lengths of time separated from your family. This is more or less manageable while you are single. It starts getting tougher as you get married, and the worst it gets as you have your children. So you have to plan accordingly. Your family should be in agreement and in parallel with your thoughts that this is what you are expected of. And the staying away part from the family will be there, cannot be ruled out. No matter how hard you try, your contract duration can never be less than 3 to 4 months going by the industry standards as of now. Although as you climb up the stairs in seniority, your contract durations might come down to 3 months. But to start with, it will be anything from 6 months to 9 months to even a year. So you have to be mentally prepared that that is the amount of time you have to stay away from your family on the sea, sailing with just 20 people around, going out in these lucrative international waters, international countries may not be allowed, especially with this COVID pandemic around. My last contract and the one before, I did not even step down the land for 7 months at a stretch. So please bear that in mind. Another thing, what you will be subjected to tough working hours. Tough working hours are expected out of you when you are out at sea. Although there are rules and international regulations, there is an International Labour Organization. There is something known as Maritime Labour Convention 2006, which is in place, which regulates your working and resting hours. But still, having said that, it does not override your responsibility being present on the ship to be called upon for any emergency, or even that matter for any routine work or for any assistance at any time of the day or night. You have to be on your toes. You have to be prepared for real emergencies, including grounding, fire, explosion, collision, and the list is endless. But if we are well prepared, if you have your training, if you have your certification, and if you have your skill and presence of mind, most importantly, in place, nothing will stop you.
Thank you so much, Sudhanshu, once again for letting us know about the challenges one has to face when in this field. First of all, you said separation, isolation from the family. And you have very rightly said that once, if you are single, you can manage it well. But when you are married and having children, it becomes all the more difficult, because you have to be separated from your child, children, and spouse for long period. Yes, that is there. The challenge is absolutely there. And then the second thing you said, that you have to work with 18 to 20 people only on board. So at time there are only 18 to 20 people, and at times of different nationality. And I know that because being your mother, I know that many a times in many voyages of yours, you were the only Indian on board. So you had to work with all other people of different nationality with no other Indian on board. So it itself is a very big challenge, because you don't have anyone to interact with, any Indian to interact with. So that is also quite a big challenge. And the third thing which you mentioned about, that there are no fixed working hours, because you have to work as per the requirement of your engine room. And the alarms are there, the duties are there, and midnight alarms are there, and you have to attend to the alarm, doesn't matter whatever time of the day is it. So there are no working hours, but you have also mentioned about the resting hours and all. So that is a little bit of relief for my students. So thank you so much for giving us insight of all these challenges which one has to face in this field. Okay. Now, Sudhanshu, please tell me, is there anything you want to share about this which I might be missing out?
So tough working hours, tough working conditions are there, but there are certain things to look forward to also. You have good recreation facilities at the same time available on the ship. There are games, you have weekly parties, you have good recreation, you have something like PlayStation, computer games, satellite TV, internet, Wi-Fi, and things have really improved over the years, as I have been witnessing. Then you have international seamen centers available at mostly all the ports. If not all, the major ports are always there. You can go there, relax, chill out, and meet people, go to the city. And while you are in your cabin, you can always inculcate a habit of a good hobby. You can go for book reading, you can go for music, watching movies, you can download movies when you are going for shore leaves at ports. So you can basically pass this time. It's not as difficult as we have made it sound to. But the plus and minuses are there with all professions. So let's not, focus on only the minuses, or let's not feel sad that, okay, only the isolation part is there. Let's try to also focus on the salary, on the touring involved, on the responsibility, on the kind of leadership roles you will be put into, and what kind of a person you will transform yourself into after that. And then it's your social status. Like you can call yourself an officer while at ship, and while at home also you will be treated like one. And with the amount of salary you are earning, you can really resort to good and very good standards of living. So, and the time which you will get with your family, that is the leave after you are coming after a contract, you will also get a decent amount of leave, which can be anything between say 2 to 3 to 5 months maybe. And now many companies are coming with this contract, this provision of voyage contract. So voyage contract also lets you choose on your freedom to, to choose when and when you are actually ready, and that time you can go join a ship and serve for the required period and come. And then when you are ready, you can go join the ship. Although your financial commitments, your family requirements might be different, but there are now flexibility options available. So please don't look at in a small nutshell, look at the broader picture, which we have right now. And I'm sticking with this profession, even though all the hardships were there in the earlier years. So there has to be something good also. And really, I'm proud that I'm there in this profession. And I would like to see many more of you come forward and work on ships like I do. And it's a vast ocean of opportunities out there. And many less people are exposed to this profession. I would like to really encourage the lady candidates, your lady students who are watching this video. And there is the government and even the companies and everybody is encouraging. The rules have also been modified. A special preference has been given to the lady candidates to come forward, because as of now it's more or less a male dominated industry, which everybody doesn't want it to be. Although you have lady captains, lady engineers and lady ratings as well, chefs, catering department, they were always there, but they are really working great and proving themselves in higher positions. So even I would like to take this opportunity to motivate and encourage the lady candidates to come forward. And it's a safe atmosphere out there. The international rules are put in place to ensure that your safety is utmost priority, and you cannot be more safe than on a ship. Let me explain you in very clear words.
So much, Sudhanshu, for giving this information. Now we have a clear picture of what are the challenges in this field and what are the positive things, what are the benefits, what are the advantages. You said that you people are getting leave also. Suppose after 6 months of being on sea, 3 months leave is there. So that is a big relief, and that leave is absolutely yours. You can have your family time, you can roam around anywhere, you can do anything you want. So it is on contract. That is the good thing about this profession. And there are many other good things. There's pay and the adventurous job, the traveling, that all you have given us a very good idea about. And the best thing which I like was the girls, they can also join this field. And I would like to tell my girls students that please go for it. There are a lot of opportunities waiting for you on sea in the field of merchant navy. Now, Sudhanshu, please tell us about some institutes where they can join after 12th, or they can search for these institutes, admission in these institutes after 12th.
Okay, now it has become much of a centralized thing, and there are private players as well. So, and in the private segment, let me caution you all that there is a lot of false agents, false institutes who are out there in the market. So don't get carried away by them offering you like eye-catching advertisements. Just don't go blindly wherever you are getting an opportunity. First and foremost, I would like to draw your attention to Indian Maritime University, that is the IMU. That is the standardized government entry procedure for the merchant navy. There is something known as a CET, that is a common entrance test. Google it and go for it, apply for it, and see if you can get through it. If you are selected, there are Indian Maritime Universities located all across India. Based on your passing percentage or based on the cutoff, you will be called for further examination. It could be a written test. It will also include a personal interview. It may also include a group discussion, and foremost, it will include your physical fitness, that is the medical test. So if you are somewhere not selected in the government sector, I would suggest you can retry, or you can also opt for the private colleges. But here, please check that you are applying for a reputed private college. While you are reading their advertisement or their brochure, make sure the terminologies which they are using to advertise, there is a difference between 100% guaranteed placement and 100% placement support, or 100% placement like assistance will be provided. These two things are way apart. So please read it very carefully. Please go through the prospects which various institutes will be sharing on internet or on the newspaper, news media. Also look for, while you are, once you have cleared your college part, when you are going for the placements, always look for a RPSL certified company. This is a special number which the government allots to various shipping companies of India, in India and abroad. And they are given this RPSL number only after they have been found to comply with the minimum requirements set forth by the government to avoid the cheating and the fraud which is happening in this industry. So choose your college, your degree college carefully. Go for IMU first. IMU has many colleges under it. If not, go for the private colleges. Private colleges has to be reputed. You have to be very sure in the placement terminology they use. They will provide the assistance. And after that, you once you are completed with your training, look for a RPSL company. Thanks.
Thanks again, Sudhanshu, for giving a detailed, elaborate information about the various government and private institutes and what to look for in advertisement, what are the tricky things, what are the things which can fool our students. So thank you so much for making them aware about how to read the advertisement, how to follow the advertisement, and how to go for a government institute, a private institute to pursue these degrees in Merchant Navy. Thank you once again, and I'm sure that this video of ours is going to help my students, and they can have the idea and they can think about this profession if they have like for this kind of profession. And if there is any question which we have not touched and you want to ask about this profession, you are more than welcome. Please write us in comment section and we will be replying to you very shortly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, all the best to everybody who is looking forward to make a career out of this profession. All the best to you all.